Hi, ladies. Mom proof.
Hey.
We are. The art of being comfortable with uncomfortable.
Uncomfortability.
It still is hard to say.
It is. It's trending.
But the meaning is so important. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this parenting, sharing parenting tips.
Sharing is caring.
Yes.
Yes. And this is episode 6 of season 3.
Yes. 3 times 2 is 6.
Oh my gosh. This is
2.
good.
What's that have to do with it?
I don't know.
That's good. I love numbers. I was going to say my password, but realized that's probably not a good idea.
I know. Didn't y'all just do a numbers thing? I totally love the numbers, astrology stuff. I mean, I know it's
my houses are falling apart. Yeah,
I know the houses.
Per my numerology. Thank you for sharing that.
I know.
I like that there's a reason and an end to it.
Yeah.
There's it.
Temporary.
That's
it's about being optimistic.
And we just ended with that, which I think is so important, y'all.
What's that? Which part? Being optimistic?
The optimism part. Just really, I feel like in the happiness and choosing joy, even when things seem so daunting.
So true, Kathleen. It
I
is.
know.
That's we were talking about last episode. The project, happiness project.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, the Harvard studies.
Build the life you want. No. Did I say it? By Arthur C. Brooks. You're my book person.
Yes.
You're my book.
Sandra's like,
you're my library.
You're my library.
You caught me off guard.
But don't you think it's so like currently in our world, without getting anything into, specifics, there's so much going on that can really get your mind messy.
Yeah.
I had a therapist friend the other day say that she'd seen so many people recently and the world really is just off kilter. Everyone's more anxious than normal, more depressed than normal. I guess, change too. We know change is coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are we going to handle it?
Change is coming.
It's not if.
It's when.
It's around the corner.
Yeah.
I think it's like keeping yourself, even though like everything could be falling apart around you, that if you keep your area, so to speak,
your
neat
mental
and in order and just focused, then you can pretty much make it through anything.
How much though do you need to lean on others? Like the whole concept of the compassion piece. I feel like a lot of compassion is missing in a lot of social media, which our kids spend a lot of time on, a lot of current events. So you might want, it's like, where's the compassion?
Right. And what's real?
What's real? Ooh.
Well, that's complicated for kids. I mean,
right?
I know we were talking about that,
for you
but
with younger kids.
Well, mine
I have a
haven't
grandson, but
it's tough. But it's just like anything that happens within minutes. There's a meme about it. If they're watching YouTube, these videos on gaming, the people that
commentators
are inputting information about it. And I think sometimes they're taking really serious situations and kind of they're mocking it,
Ooh.
And then our kids end up repeating it. So I think it's really important to sit down with your children and have a conversation with them about current events.
Yes, age-appropriate conversations, right? Developmentally appropriate. Yes, right. Which is hard to know how to do, but honestly, you can Google. I bet you could chat GPT that stuff and ask what to say to like a 9-year-old about
2020.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm on a journey.
You are.
I'm on this is from the band, but I am on a journey. I don't know what it is. Okay.
You do.
My hair too. Like what?
You're growing. See, as a parent. We're still growing. And that's what we have to do is model that behavior for our kids. Yeah. I wonder how many times we've said model that behavior in our podcast.
Probably a lot.
Sandra, you're the guru on that.
Yeah.
Do you think you can bring that to episode?
I think recently we've been saying it a lot, but just because, I don't know for you guys, but for me, modeling has become very important because if I'm modeling chaos and if I'm modeling being mean to other people.
Even talking, but we've talked about that, like talking behind people.
Yes, your kid's here.
Then
totally.
My son's going to hear it and, or just even modeling happiness.
Yes.
Just modeling calm, modeling.
What does happiness look like?
Exactly.
That's a good
question.
What
does it look like?
What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like?
Yeah.
Those are questions I've asked.
The answers?
I think each kid or each person has their own answers.
Different, right?
To that, yeah.
But that's a cool thing to ask your kid. What does that look like for you? Because I'm just thinking, what does it look like for me?
Give us one thing. Like, what do you think? Let's see.
I mean, like for you, what is it? Happiness.
Happiness for me is a calm mind. As far as myself.
Right.
In my family, it's being just us being in the same room and being like copacetic, like that's a marker of happiness, which is rare right now. Like, being in the same room at the same time with your whole family. I mean, come on.
Right.
And having it copacetic. Like you're not there because you're going to go to court or something.
Yeah, good one.
Next week or
Exactly.
something like that. But,
Oh, shoot.
Wow, that's
No.
okay,
Okay, so I'll answer mine.
Yes. Yeah, switch.
That's interesting, though. My happiness is it's a lot about my environment. I mean, things make me happy. Like,
well, your environment's really like chaotic right now at home.
it's super chaotic. But when things in my environment are calm and beautiful, I'm more at peace. And I'm happy all the time
Very
anyway.
feng shui,
so
right? Like,
yes,
you get
I
really-
my feng shui is really important.
Yeah.
And I can feel it when it's off.
Yeah.
And I think my kids can too, in their room or their space or
It's great. Though.
whatever
That's a
it
good
is.
skill because it's like intuitive in a way.
It is.
A lot
I
of
really do
intuition.
believe the energy
Mm-hmm.
in your
like
house
that.
and your space is super important. And your kids can feel when it's off. If they come home or I'm cooking dinner and I'm quiet, what's up? What's going on?
Yeah.
So I really
Tone.
do try and tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'm sorry, Jane.
No,
did not
I
mean to
just
cut
try
you.
and stay happy. I mean, I really
Yes.
do. I try and model being happy even in the worst of times.
Yeah.
Or
I
so you
really
fake
do.
it. I mean, do you kind of fake it?
I don't. I find that's interesting though, right?
No, but
'Cause
fake it till it becomes true.
I will find a piece of something that's joyful in whatever situation.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
I agree.
It's just an art, and it took me a long time to do it.
I
The art
do
of
agree.
What's your answer?
I mean, for me, happiness right now is the present moment.
Yes.
That it's not the past. It's not what I have to worry about the future. It's right now. I'm here with you guys. I love doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I think
We're
it's
so fun.
well, yes, and it's also like hopefully helping people, and
Oh Lord.
and just really staying focused on that's all there is.
Yeah.
I'm not guaranteed.
Boy,
tomorrow.
don't you wish you could be better? Could have been better about that when you were
Oh,
younger.
God.
I mean, if that's a good nugget to
Yes.
talk to your
Dang,
kids about.
man.
Man, I wish you
Yes.
could have just thought about the right now
Right now.
and how important that is,
Yes.
and not what's going to be on social, not if you have to go to that party,
Yeah.
not
Right,
being
it's just
this
the moment.
thing.
And I did catch myself yesterday at dinner because I live right now. It's just my Colin and myself, and we always have dinner together.
Mhm.
And so we were sitting down having dinner, and it was like a nice conversation. And all of a sudden, that brain of ours that just clicks in was like, "This is sad. It's just me and him." For a second,
Oh.
even though we were having such a good and then I caught myself. I was like, "No, this is amazing." But I almost said to him, like,
Don't
this
you
is-
wish Dad
don't you
Sophie was
wish-
here or something? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I didn't because I was
Ooh,
like, he's
snap.
having a great conversation.
That's
We're having
great.
a great
So good.
moment.
That's great. Yeah, that's such a beautiful thing, Sandra, because you and I were even talking about, and James, I know you believe in this, how breathing is so pivotal, and there's so much research around that nervous system stuff, right? We could go on and on about that, but being present usually begins with a nice deep breath, at least for me. Like I will just,
That's a good reminder for parents
for parents.
in the
just-
carpool line.
Yeah,
Do it.
Yeah, just breathe.
Right.
Just
before your
breathe,
kids
man.
walk out the door. Just
breathe.
take a deep breath.
Because
Yeah.
can you know that we send them away in the morning, the fire drill, like, just,
Yeah.
and I'd rather, and we know about love languages and the texting for me, but I would rather not even try to tackle a bunch of things with my 17-year-old as he's coming down at 7 o'clock in the morning to be at school for basketball, until I know he's done with that first big commitment. And sometimes I wonder, and this is a big part we've talked about, y'all, the identity that kids have and whether they feel like, are they authentically living their life, or is he so wrapped up in basketball that now he's an imposter there? Like, is he a true basketball player? I don't know. He's played it since he was 5. What other parts of my kid are there to peel back? That's why I'm so excited about this one going to college. Like, I felt like the other one may have kind of known herself a little bit better. I wonder about
interesting.
kids and how well they know themselves, or are they fitting into-
meant to know themselves?
I
yet?
don't
You have
know.
to go through that
Yeah, I mean,
toughness and
the
figure
peeling
it
back-
out.
Yes. And
Yeah, I think
Good one.
It's just not easy. And that's a good example of life. Life's not easy. I wanted to be something else.
I want
But
to
you
do
know, that's
something else.
the amazing thing is like we were talking about tips.
Yeah.
Like for things that we can teach our kids, young teenagers or, even young adults is it's just they talk a lot about visualization.
Ooh,
But what I
love it.
really love is when you take it a step further and instead of visualizing this amazing thing happening is actually seeing yourself go through it and the work that it takes to get there. But then also you can imagine like the things that are going to happen that are going to go wrong because then when you hit those points, you've already expected it.
So it's
or
like
you've
guided
already-
imagery.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would let myself do that.
To
But
see
it's
the
to
pitfalls.
see the bad, because I know it's coming.
Yeah.
But
it's
I
not
don't-
so
I don't-
bad. It's almost like, okay, like I'll give an example.
Yeah, I was just gonna
like
say, give us an example.
Sophia, she's doing some really fun
We're
stuff
so
right
far
now.
past that.
And anyway, she's in a DJ competition.
Exciting.
So she's really upset before the competition even ends that she's going to lose.
Right.
So I was telling her, I was like, you got to envision yourself not only being successful at what you want to do, I said, but envision yourself actually not making this competition. But then how that opened up doors to something else.
I like that. See, there was
That
your
makes it-
golden nugget at the end, though.
Yes,
yeah.
that
It wasn't
makes
like
a
you
difference.
failed
Instead
and
of
you never
see it for
DJ
things that are wrong.
again.
I like what
Yes.
you mentioned too about writing a book.
Oh.
If you want to write a book, sit down and start with a chapter, start
Right.
with the sentence. And if you don't write one day, then give yourself a break. Say it's okay. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of our kids don't give themselves enough of a break.
No.
If there's, I hate to call it a failure, but it is what it is sometimes. If there's a failure,
A non-success.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, so I mentioned the word imposter. So picture you're, 20 years old and that's hard. Or you're 55 and everything seems so like perfect. Like, and everyone knows social media is a big, gaslighting situation. But I mean, do our kids know enough about themselves yet? And how do we remind them that this basketball side of him, which is the most part of his identity I think he identifies with, is really a piece of it. And it probably will peel off soon. And that there's so many other things, but he doesn't have to find that looking for at other people's social media. He can go explore. Does he want to DJ?
Ooh,
Does he
talk
want-
about that. Talk more about that. What prevents part of the imposter thing? Is doing something new.
Right. To remind that,
like, what is it?
Well,
no,
sorry,
like-
that was meant to be a test. I think you actually told me
I
that.
think it is.
Well, it's in Mel Robbins talks about this all the
Yes,
time.
she
I love
does.
Mel Robbins.
Yes,
We
we
love
do.
you, Mel.
And,
She's amazing. If you're watching,
But she had an episode with her daughter
Mhm.
where her daughter was trying something new and she made it to a festival. I can't remember what it was. I'm sorry. But anyway, she when she got there and she was backstage, she was like, I don't belong here. And that those voices started creeping in. And then she says to herself, well, I'm not an imposter because I've never done this before. It's new, right?
Perfect.
So I thought that was amazing
I
to
love
think
that.
of things like that. Like you're not an imposter if you've never done it and you're learning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, then
Right.
we'd all be imposters. Like we'd be
Yes.
imposter podcasters, and we know that's not
Ooh,
true.
How do we do that? No, because you know what?
No, we're doing it now.
We are doing it.
That's right.
That's good. We really are.
But I love what you said because I think as the kids, whether they're in college, they're going to middle school, whether they're kids our age, in our 50s, we're young.
I'm a kid.
We are. We are allowed to try new things. We are allowed to try a new look, try a new art, try a new relationship with a new friend group. And it's not being an imposter. It's just testing
No, and it's healthy.
our sense of who we are.
It's
Yeah.
healthy in your
Yeah.
parenting too, because
Yes.
if you're, take care of yourself. If you're happy, if you're trying new things, there's a sense of excitement.
Yep.
And when you're excited, then everybody around you is going to be excited,
Yes.
right?
You're jazzed
So-
up on the gamma, baby.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into the gamma next.
LML.
Yeah.
Love my life.
We were talking about brain waves, James, right there.
Okay.
Gamma brain
Okay.
waves. Okay.
Okay.
So we're,
I feel like that's a song. There's a gamma something. I don't know.
There is some music. No.
yeah. But I agree. I think that's wonderful.
So the tips are really talk to your kids about just
Testing.
manifesting good
Yes.
things,
Ooh.
understanding things may go wrong.
Right.
Mhm.
Give yourself
Accounting
a break.
for it. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, and saying it's okay. And you deserve, like, these kids deserve to feel good when they do something good.
Yes.
And even
They do.
teaching them,
They
I
do.
think,
They do.
I know it's hard because not all kids like to write, and then a lot of kids don't write.
Correct.
But just kind of like getting them into a habit of, just you don't have to write your goals for the future, but maybe write down what you want tomorrow to be like.
yes.
You
Or
know,
speak it even.
and
right?
or speak it. But start putting it out there and what the different feelings are going to be. Like, you have to feel it, you have to envision it. There's so many things that you can do.
Yes.
And even though we think, oh, my kid's never going to do that, we don't know that. And if we don't introduce it to them, then we're not doing them a service, because those are tools that
Remember
we've
the
learned.
Calm app? You and I were talking about
Yeah.
Calm app, and a lot of us have the free version, and I think there's a paid version that it has those different waves that hit both the hemispheres of the brain in intervals, and as it stimulates the right and the left, and it kind of gets them in tandem. It's super healthy. Have I done it? No. Do I want to? Yes.
Okay, I have.
Okay.
And it does feel good. It's just that difficult part of slowing down, which we want to
is.
try and get our kids to do too. But it
Dude.
is hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to stop and meditate and do that.
Meditate.
I think I said, wasn't I going to do more of that? I think I said.
Yes.
Okay, well, here's a challenge.
Oh, good. I love a challenge.
No. Yeah, no. Yay.
The challenge is that for 3 days, and I'm trying this, and today's only my day 1.
Okay.
So for 3 days, you continuously have positive thoughts.
Okay.
And no matter what, you have to go 3 days without, even if a negative thought or voices come in, you have to just immediately turn them off.
Well, and okay, stop right there, because I use this with my clients. Sometimes it's even it's cool to take the negative thought, put it in a bubble, or put it in, yes.
Let it go.
Go ahead and contain it or somehow, and then let
Yeah,
it go. But I
envision,
love you're catching it, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. So that's cool.
Okay, 3 days.
I love it.
3 days of and then supposedly after 3 days, your brain is going
Just 3?
to,
Wow.
yes, you learns a new habit. So then it's just going to become automatic, right?
Okay.
So I'll let you know
let
on
me
the
know.
next
Let's all do it.
episode.
Let's all do it. Yes.
I'm going to challenge someone I love to do it.
Let's do
Yes.
that too.
Yeah. Why not?
Because you know what you would catch me doing, and Jamie was always catching me do it. I feel like I'm doing less of it. It's the what if da 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 da, and I say something like, "What if the world falls off the axis?"
You taught me that one, catastrophizing.
She taught me to quit doing it because I was what ifing, but it's catastrophizing.
Yeah.
But I was doing it in such a gentle way. Well, what if
And I don't allow it.
Yeah, that's
at all.
good.
There's no what if. To your point of now is what we have.
Yeah.
That is so
what
good.
if. It's really difficult though. And parents do that a lot. Oh my gosh, what if they climb that fence and fall off? Then they fall off.
Yes.
And let them fall.
Yes,
and let's hope they're,
true. What if they don't get
break
into
an arm.
Harvard to the happiness
yeah.
study?
Oh.
Because the book we wanted to bring up for this
The
episode,
teenage brain?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
the teenage brain. That's why we're doing this, because it's
Yes.
so messed up.
Yes.
messed up.
It's just not formed.
It is.
I don't mean it
form.
like
Yeah,
that. Teenagers,
see,
don't be mad at
we
me.
love y'all. But think about that book, and I'm gonna have to cheat on our notes because I don't remember the author.
You can.
Dun dun dun.
The Teenage Brain.
The Teenage Brain
What'd you
by.
learn? What's a glaring takeaway?
Well, just to be, more importantly, to understand how different it is than our adult brain, and to continue to learn, but not necessarily use it as an excuse. I think we have kind of gotten into a place where we're like, oh, they're not using their frontal lobe just yet. Well, you know what? How many speeding tickets do we need? I'm just saying, I'm sorry, Garen, I don't think you're really going to listen to the whole episode so I can say it, but at some point when we go in front of the judge, we're going to have to be able to show that there's a little cause effect.
Action consequence. It's true.
So this author, Frances E. Jensen, MD, with a co-author, Amy Ellis Nutt, wrote The Teenage Brain, and it is a New York Times bestseller. And there's a lot of teenage brain books, but that's a really, I think, easy one to ascertain all the kind of the nuggets you want. And
it's important. Again, we keep growing, keep learning.
Yes.
We do it as adults, and we need to do it
I think even if people
as parents.
don't like reading or don't have time to read,
audio.
audio or podcast.
Yes.
There's so much good
So
information
much
out
podcast.
now on just different skills on how to manifest what we want,
Mhm.
and it's amazing. I mean, I'm excited about this venture I'm on, because I've never felt so hopeful. And it's
Ooh.
all created by myself, and I was always depending for other things to create hopefulness and happiness. And I was like, wow, it was right there.
That's
It's inside of
cool.
me.
That is such a good takeaway for this time period that we're in, worldwide and
Right.
nationally, where it
Right.
feels hopeless.
Yeah.
So that's a good one, Sandra. I think we should come into the next episode ready to really roll on some of those
Well,
pieces of info.
I like it. And
Yeah.
the hopeful and hopeless.
Hopeful,
yeah.
As long as I can remember, every time I got on the airplane in Cambodia, after leaving that country that is so poor, and those kids just had so little,
Mhm.
I had to make a choice. And I remember thinking, sitting in the plane seat, just thinking, am I going to be hopeful? Am I really going to get anything done? Or am I hopeless and just going to let it all go? So you have to choose,
Yeah.
know? And that's
Stay
why staying bothered
Mhm.
is such a big deal. I wonder
It
how
is.
many shirts we have in our episodes, too.
I
feel like we have a
know.
lot. But
That's a different one.
That's good. Let's lead to our next episode.
And
Yes.
to
Really
say-
being hopeful
Yes.
and hopeless. You have to fight the hopeless.
You
Yes.
do
You got to fight
the
it.
hopeless.
And they say that being grateful
Ooh.
is one of the biggest emotions that cause
Gratitude.
the most happiness in us
Mm.
than any other emotion. So just like what you said, being grateful even in a moment that wasn't what we expected, maybe we learned a lesson. Just finding some gratitude in that,
Mhm.
I think is huge.
That's so awesome.
We can do that book, The Gratitude.
Ooh, what is it?
it?
Yeah, I don't
It'll
remember.
come to us.
Let's look it up.
Yeah.
We'll do it on the next episode.
Yes. Is it time for a question?
It's time
Yes.
for questions.
Okay. Okay. Well, I obviously did last episode.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at us taking turns. It's so important in life.
Take your
Okay.
turn.
How do you balance the art of giving your young adult freedom while still managing to sneak in some unsolicited life advice without them rolling their eyes too hard?
Sticky notes.
So giving them freedom.
Mhm.
Yeah,
How do you give them freedom,
freedom.
while still managing to sneak in some unsolicited life
Yeah,
advice?
that's-
Like
ooh.
10 tequila shots are not going to do you
Yes,
well,
that's
and
probably-
nothing good happens after
Oh,
midnight.
Yes.
That's right.
I mean,
I would say for me, and I don't know, I do love sticky notes, and I haven't used it, although I wonder if that's something I need to try with the one who's at home. But I think just when I'm sitting and I'm rubbing their feet, or they're like, there's actual tactile, you're not necessarily looking at each other, and there's just some calmness first, there's some connecting, and then there's the golden nuggets, where you're trying to implant some wisdom.
yeah, I love that. So you take opportunities when you can to,
Yeah.
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 How about you?
For me, anyway. Yep.
Well, I mean, I think it's trusting, showing your young adult trust.
Yeah.
And with that comes freedom,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then also on the other end of that, talk about unsolicited advice, it would be, maybe pointing out some, like, reasons why maybe you as a parent have concerns. But so in other words, not saying you can't do this because this, like, nothing happens good after midnight, but just saying,
We've all
go
said that.
have
It really
fun,
doesn't if
Yeah.
you're out on
say,
6th Street.
Yeah.
but always be careful, look around. And then, but most of all, I think it's just teaching them to have conversations with you and to be honest. I always said,
Honesty. You're so
you
right.
you can do and go anywhere you want as long as you always tell me the truth. As if you don't tell the truth, you get in trouble. But if you told the truth,
Yeah.
then we're going to figure this out.
Nice.
Okay, can we end with teenagers always lie?
Oh, yeah.
They
Yep.
really do. They
Yep.
always lie.
Did we? Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We did.
But I know what she's saying.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
I
you're
that's
absolutely
which,
right.
You repeat it enough and they're going to be somewhat honest down
Well,
the road.
that's why she has such a great relationship
Yeah.
with her kids.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I like 80,
you
20.
don't do that
I'll
early
take it.
on. Yeah, exactly.
I'll take 80-20.
Exactly.
I'll take
Yeah,
the
80-20,
20%.
Exactly. Spot on.
What about you, James?
Same. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like
well, I gave my advice. You know, nothing good happens
After midnight.
Yeah.
And you could write that on
And
a
lots
sticky
of
note.
tequila shots don't work. But you know, you take the opportunities when you can.
That's
You
it.
talk openly and honest,
Yeah.
and I always throw a little bit of humor in there. They think I'm so weird. I mean, I think I'm way more funnier than they do. So that's just
funny.
kind of my love language.
Yeah,
with them.
humor is a good
Odd
one,
mom.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Though? Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we're doing good, ladies.
This is
Aw.
fun.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh.
I'm grateful for y'all.
Yeah, me
same.
too.
Good emotion for the day.
Yes. Yes.
So until next time. Okay,
Yes.
the challenge.
Oh.
3 days.
3
Negative.
days.
Nothing negative.
Yes.
Positive thoughts
catch
only.
your negativity,
Yeah.
let
Catch
it
it.
blow away.
Woo.
Yes.
You do know I have 5 construction crews in my house. Right?
Oh, it's a challenge
Oh,
for you.
I love it.
Oh,
And you too, Eric. Okay,
love
that's a wrap.
you.
Love
Bye.
you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.